everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Marvel Legends Infinite Series 6-inch Kraven the Hunter figure from Hasbro's Marvel Legends Spider-Man Rhino Build-A-Figure Wave. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we've seen with the other Spider-Man Legends. You've got the Spider-Man logo up top, since this is a character directly related to Spider-Man. You've also got the little spider logo on the very top of the packaging. You've got the figure clearly displayed in the window box packaging, and you've got the Infinite Series logo at the bottom. On the sides you have images of Spider-Man, and then on the back you have images of both Kraven the Hunter and the Chameleon. These figures are considered the Savage Force. They're swap figures with one another, even though both figures ship in the same assortment, and there's a brief bio for them in multiple languages. Then down below we see all the figures that are part of the Rhino Build-A-Figure series. Okay, so let's get this figure open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. So first of all, this figure comes with the right leg for the Rhino Build-A-Figure, and now that we have all the figures, pieces for Rhino, we'll be reviewing that figure in its own review. Should be up probably tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. This is the final figure in the Spider-Man Rhino Build-A-Figure series wave that we've looked at, and I've got to say, you know, I've kind of saved the best for last. This is probably the nicest figure in this wave, and there's a lot of detail, pretty good accessories, nice update to the previous Toy Biz Kraven figure that we got back in that old box set. So I definitely like this new Kraven better. So first of all, the figure comes with a spear accessory, and for the most part there's not a whole lot of paint detail on the spear. The spear itself, the handle is just brown plastic. There is some ridges kind of sculpted in to give it a look of wood, but it basically looks like a piece of plastic, and the tip is not terribly sharp, done with kind of a bronze metallic plastic. There's a little bit of a shiny effect to look like a spear. So, you know, it doesn't look bad, but not a whole lot of detail. Now, they did give us some nice shading detail on the feathers on this one, so I do like that, and I think that comes out looking good. And it holds the spear in either hand, and you can get him into two-handed poses with the spear, so, you know, I like that accessory. Now, I don't know if you want to call these accessories or not, but he comes with his vest, which I like the sculpting on the vest, his lion vest with the mane that comes around the back, and I think that looks really good. And again, we've got some shading on the back there, some dark browns and light browns, so I think that comes out looking good. And it is removable, you can take it off, but before I show you that, he also has this belt which is removable. It just clips on the back here, and so you can take it off. And it's just a brown plastic. It's got the little loincloths that hang down from the side. You got some holes in it. Again, not a whole lot of intricate paint details, but it looks pretty good nevertheless. And then the vest itself you can take off. It's not terribly difficult. You just kind of have to pull it back. Of course, now that I'm doing it on camera, it's a little more difficult. It's a little bit tight, but for the most part it comes off pretty easily, and you can get it back on. And again, it's just kind of that soft rubber vinyl type material. And I like the skin tones on this figure, and I think you can pose the figure. I think it looks good posing him without the vest or with the vest. You can also pose him with the belt without the vest. So there's a number of different ways you can pose this figure, and you know, I think it looks good. And I really like the skin tones, much better than the very kind of reddish skin tones that we got on the old Toy Biz one. Now he does have a hole in his back. I believe this is a new mold. This isn't the Bucky Cap mold. This appears to be a new mold, so you know, but we do have that hole in the back probably for future figures. It doesn't have any bearing on this particular figure though. And also he's got this little necklace with, I guess these are supposed to be teeth or something. And again, not a whole lot of paint detail on it. You can remove it if you want. Kind of like the amulet on the White Tiger figure we looked at yesterday, made with the same kind of material. You just pop his head off if you want to take it off. The armbands the tiger armbands are painted on this figure. And he's got the wrappings around his hands. His pants are just basically brown. Again, not much in the way of wash detail or shading or anything like that. They do have some nice detailing with these skulls over his kneecaps. I really like the detailing and sculpting on those, and he's got the like fur pieces also sculpted around the skull, so I think that comes off looking really good. And you got some shading there on the skull and everything, so a nice paint detail there. The boots are just again kind of that dark brown, just like the wraps around his wrists, same color. So I think this figure is a nice, most of the paint applications are simple, but there are some areas on it where it's got some pretty detailed paint applications, so I definitely think the figure comes out looking nice. The head sculpt on the figure is also, I think they've done a good job with. It's, again, I like it better than that kind of facial expression they gave on the old Toy Biz one, so I think they did a nice job with that. The figure stands at about 6 3/4 inches tall. He's pretty much the same height as that old Toy Biz Kraven the Hunter figure. They're about the same height. And then he's a little bit taller than the pizza-eating Spider-Man figure from the last wave of Spider-Man Legends. So I think Kraven should probably be a little bit taller than Spider-Man, so I think the scale is pretty good with this figure. And then just for one more comparison, here he is with his Sinister Six buddies. So articulation on this figure is pretty good. The head is on a ball hinge joint, so he can look left and right with no problem, even with the vest on. And he's got pretty good up and down movement with the head. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints at the shoulder, and even with the vest on, he can get his arm out pretty good, and he's got good rotation, even again with the vest. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow. Now the elbow joints are a little bit of that gummy joint, so there's a little bit of softness there in the elbow joint. He's got the swivel in the wrist and the hinges on the wrist, so he's got good up and down movement with the hands. He's got an ab crunch joint, and he can crunch down good. And even with the vest on, he can still look up pretty good. He's got a waist swivel. Now the belt, kind of sometimes when you're swiveling the waist, will come unhooked in the back, but not too big a deal. He's got, actually I'm just going to take the belt off. He's got the ball joints for the legs. He can get his leg out good. Can't really do his leg backs because of the way the butt's sculpted. He's got the bicep swivel. And with the belt on, if you're wondering, it does limit somewhat a little bit of his forward movement on the leg. The leg hits the belt a little bit, but it's not major. And again, if you really want to have good movement with the legs, then you can just take the belt off. He's got the double hinged knees. The knee joints are pretty solid. He's got a boot swivel, and then he's got the hinges and the ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. That's my review. Overall, I really like this figure. As I said before, I think this is probably the nicest figure in this wave. Some nice detailing, strong paint applications, good accessories, nice articulation, a new sculpt. So, all around this is a winner for me. And definitely a nice update to the old Toy Biz Kraven figure. So this figure, along with the rest of the Rhino Build-A-Figure wave, should start hitting shelves here in the United States within the next few weeks. We'll have a full gallery of images for the figure up at marvelousnews.com, and there's a link in the description below for that. And as always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.